Hi guys, welcome to my channel and thank you very much for subscribing to my channel and for viewing all my videos. As I previously explained that there have been a lot of copyright violations on my account, so YouTube is trying to take down most of the tests. So just wanted to tell you guys that if you have a chance, just do download those tests and keep them. It might help you in the future because they won't be available. What I've done is I've also saved them on an external drive, so if any one of you needs a link for them later on, if they do get taken down, you can always send me a message and I can send you the link and then you could view those tests, right? Just following up on this video series which I'm trying to create, but because of lack of time it's very hard for me to prepare a video each week, which I promised, every week I'll be having a series of videos. But it's just very hard. So today I have arranged a video topic which is EY interview questions. I have the EY website open up in front of me and I would highly suggest to you, if you are planning to take the EY interview, you should go onto their website, read through their website and understand each and every thing which they are doing at the moment and the new upcoming technologies they're dealing with and so on. So I'm going to break this video down into different parts and it's going to be a series of questions which I've prepared. It's more likely just the same as the interview questions as we discussed with in our previous video regarding the PwC interview. Just to keep in your mind, EY's interview, PwC, KPMG or Deloitte, their questions are more or less the same. There are a few key changes which you need to understand and always keep in your mind and just follow that pattern. So those questions would be specific to each industry or each company. So let's get started and let's talk about the EY interview. So guys, the first question which you have to keep in your mind, and I would always say, as I said before, that do go to the website, read through the website and understand the company in and out. The most likely and the first question which you might be faced is that why would you want to join Ernst & Young? And it sounds like a simple question, but it's not really. You need to understand very specific that why would you want to join Ernst & Young. The first reason for Ernst & Young and why you want to work for Ernst & Young is its strong brand. You have to keep in your mind that all the four accountancy firms or the five large accountancy firms do have a very strong brand, but Ernst & Young is very strong in terms of its revenue. So it's the third largest in terms of revenue in the financial services sector. So you can always highlight that in the beginning, which would be very helpful. And adding to these lines, you can say that Ernst & Young has got the most employees amongst the big 4 or 5 accounting firms, and a lot of candidates get hired to Ernst & Young, which makes sense because that makes them very different amongst the other financial services firms. Another thing you can mention in the interview is that Ernst & Young 2020 initiative and they're working towards making a better world. Talking about the 2020 initiative and Ernst & Young's push towards making its firm one of the most distinctive brands in the market, that is the vision of 2020 in a nutshell. And you can always bring this thing in the interview that what you read about Ernst & Young and its vision towards 2020 and the bold step which they're taking. So saying something in the interview would make you apart from all the other candidates, and keeping yourself apart from other candidates will make you stand out. Another part of the goal in that 2020 vision is to make $50 billion of revenue. When I say $50 billion, that is their global revenue, which is massive. No doubt it's a large goal. It can be achieved, and you can always tell the interviewer that you're quite impressed by this lofty goal of Vision 2020 and Ernst & Young's vision to build its revenues to 50 billion. Because of these goals, you can always bring up in the interview that these initiatives have inspired you in such a way that you're quite interested more about the Vision 2020, because some things are not usually written on the website, and during the interview that'll be a good question that you can ask maybe later on regarding the initiative and Vision 2020? You can always put this question forward, as I've just told you, that to the interviewer, that what impact has the Vision 2020 been towards that individual's job, and how do they see the Vision 2020 opening up in terms of their career progression. That will make the interviewer interested more in yourself. Then they would be knowing that you've done your research thoroughly. So the next question you might get is, who is the Ernst & Young CEO? So you need to have your preparation, and you can even check on Wikipedia, or you can go onto the website and even have a look at that. So Mark Weinberger was the previous CEO for Ernst & Young, and right now it's Carmine Di Sibio from 1st July 2019. That would show that you have done your research thoroughly. Not only that, you should be knowing who is your UK CEO. If you're interviewing, say, for suppose in France, so you should be knowing your local CEO over there, because having knowledge of your local CEO and the team structure is very important. Don't forget to research over Carmine Di Sibio, that what work has he done in Ernst & Young and how did he progress through the Ernst & Young ladder. So Carmine Di Sibio joined in 1985 and he became the advisory and assurance partner, and he grew up through the ranks. So you need to do the research about your local CEOs. Now this is the global CEO. Talking about the UK CEO, you can research, do some Wikipedia research about the local CEO, try to learn how he started his career, what was his position before becoming the CEO of Ernst & Young, and any other roles if he had in any other areas such as working with the government or any other financial services industry. That would be very helpful. So like we were talking about the reasons why you would want to join Ernst & Young, and of course there might be other reasons which you have thought of. One of their major reasons, just going back to the first question, is that their initiative in the community and in the society which has caught your interest, and putting this forward to as the interviewer will really make a difference. Just going back into the fiscal year 2017, Ernst & Young has invested over $100 million in the community, and that is a very big initiative for a financial services firm to proceed by doing that and by helping the society, which makes them stand out amongst the big four accountancy firms. Not only they spend a lot of money in the community, but they do spend a lot of money to get this message out to the people, and so that they can understand EY's initiative towards the community and their working performance as well, because EY, like any other firm, would want to stand out and would want to be the best in the market. So these are the key areas which you have to drill down and understand how Ernst & Young really stands out in the market, and what are the things which have appealed to you in terms of applying for this specific role or coming to this interview. The point is to get your facts. So if you believe in facts, and if you research on the facts of each company, either that's Ernst & Young, Deloitte, KPMG, or whatever companies interview you going forward to, you have to know their facts. You can list the facts down and memorize them, because at the time of the interview, when you put these facts forward towards the interviewer, that is really going to make a big difference. In terms of EY and strengthening its community and their initiative, you can also talk about their program called NextGen. It's a program which they've launched in Africa, and it helps students to pursue a degree in different areas of their choice, especially making them up to that standard or up to that mark where they can excel in life, such as medicine, engineering, IT, technology, and so on. And apart from that, you can always mention that along these lines of EY's initiative, EY is investing a lot in the community. They are helping the unemployed people to develop their public speaking skills, their presentation skills, and their networking skills, so that they have confidence and they can grow professionally. You don't have to bring all of the community initiatives, because there are so many community initiatives which Ernst & Young is currently performing, but you can make a list of them and see which one stands out and which one you like and you understand that you would be more interested in talking about. Another thing about the big 5 or 4 accountancy firms is that they are investing a lot in technology, and you have to understand that you have to be very much interested in technology if you would want to work in any of the accountancy firms, even if you're trying to apply for a job in an investment bank or any other banking role. Technology is the first thing which the interviewer would want to see, that how much interest and how much skills you have developed during your university years. So in terms of E&Y, they have committed to develop the skills of their employees in terms of technology. They did this by developing something called the technology badge, and these badges are given out to employees who have developed skills in specific areas. Talking about this E&Y initiative, you can even add to the conversation that you feel much more comfortable in E&Y's initiative, because by this initiative you will be able to make your credentials more stronger in the future. Again, this is something which a lot of people might not bring up, but if you bring this up in the interview, definitely it's going to make you stand apart. Another thing which you can always bring up is that E&Y was awarded as the world's most attractive professional services firm in Universum's annual ranking, and this is also on E&Y's website and in other media. By bringing this topic up, it will show that you've done your research, and definitely it will make an impact in your interview. And another thing which you can bring up is that E&Y was listed as the 100 best companies to work for a record 20 years in a row, and they even took the Diversities Inc. Top 50 Hall of Fame for the commitment towards diversity and inclusion. And apart from that, we were talking about technology. You can always bring this up, that E&Y has invested roughly $1 billion in their technology sector. As you know, that $1 billion is a lot of investment, and you can show your interest that E&Y has spent so much in technology, and you can think of reasons how would that technology impact your work if you were working for E&Y. Because technology is the way going forward in the world, you have to show your interest, as we've discussed before. Your interest is the key behind your interview. Ernst & Young's largest clients 2020 are HP, Verizon, State Street, AT&T, Coca-Cola, General Motors, Hilton. The list is all over here. I just did a research of it and it's just shown up. So it's very easy to do a research and make a list. You don't have to name all of their clients, but at least you should be knowing about their 4 large clients or their 5 large clients who they deal with. Another question you might be asked, which is a very obvious question, is that what does Ernst & Young do? Now, this might be a very simple question, but the trick bit is that you have to do your research. Of course, it does the standard advisory practice, and it's also in tax and works in areas like audit and technology and consulting as well. But nailing this question down is much better that if you are direct and focused, and you can tell that Ernst & Young is the 3rd largest professional services firm in the world, and the professional services which they offer are audit, tax and consulting. So these are the key 3 areas which most of the large 4 accountancy firms offer, but chronologically telling these in the interview really would make a difference. And if you want to speak more in depth about, say, audit or consulting, so you can even research more into the different areas, and you can come up with a lot of information from the website, or even by doing your own research from the internet and putting that together and explaining to the interviewer. For example, in their consulting area, they do business consulting, they do cybersecurity, they do automation consulting, etc. and so on. So there are lots of service areas, service lines which you can research, and you can make a list of them. But I would always say to you, always prepare your interview in such a way that it is always chronologically laid out, because that will be very much helpful to you. Because if in the interview you are not in sequence, that might go against the whole interview session. So I would say that put everything together, and you should be knowing all these basic things of Ernst & Young, so that you don't have to think or even stop while you're speaking when a question is asked. Another question you might be asked is that what are E&Y's values? Like with any company, usually before going for an interview, you should be knowing that what is the company's vision and what is the company's value. They are pretty much the same, like diversity and inclusion, their commitment towards the society and their investment in their employees and so on. More or less it's the same thing, but every company has got a certain title to their vision and to their initiatives. So you have to be knowing those certain titles, which will again set you apart. Ernst & Young's main value is that their people should demonstrate integrity and respect and work as a team. And the Ernst & Young team also believes that their employees should work with enthusiasm, energy, and their courage to lead. And they also believe on people building their relationships on doing the right thing. EY's values are very simple to learn, and like with other accountancy practice or other financial firms or the big four accountancy firms, they're more or less the same, but of course learning them and understanding them, knowing more about them is a very important area of the interview. You might even get a question on building relationships, and that is one of EY's core values. And when you bring that up, that EY's core value is building relationships and doing the right thing, and you could give examples of your previous work, how you built relationships and how you were able to progress in that role, how the company was able to progress by building that relation. It's usually teamwork and other things which you can always bring in the interview. There's also integrity and operating businesses more efficiently. All these things combined together, they create a very healthy and fruitful environment for the company. And when the company succeeds, obviously it's the employees who make the companies succeed. Your interest and your enthusiasm towards EY's commitment and EY's values, understanding them more and putting them in front of the interviewer will really set you apart, because in that way the interviewer can understand that you have seriously done your research and you do understand EY's values. So you can also bring up that EY not only has its values, but it's got a purpose. When you bring this up, that EY has a purpose, it would really make a difference. The purpose which you can bring about EY is that they would want to develop a better working world. Building a better working world is quite a generic term as well, so it always relates to the employees and the future, and it also focuses towards making people's life better. They are doing this by automation, artificial intelligence, and offshoring. Building a better world is quite a blanket statement, as we've just discussed, and it's a good marketing slogan as well to bring in new recruits. And it's not only for the employees, it's for the clients as well. So the clients can understand that EY has invested and are investing in a specific area, which is building a better world, which is quite interesting because clients always like to work with corporates who have got work ethics and integrity, and they have a focus and drive. And that is the key area which EY focuses towards. Another major question you might be asked in the interview is that when was Ernst & Young founded? So the earliest founding date for Ernst & Young to be formed was 1849, and from there on it progressed through different partnerships. But you should be knowing about the different partnerships and the dates and how it formed into Ernst & Young. Initially, I think so it was Hardy & Pullen, and then it merged with another firm, and then they changed the name and so on. But do your research in terms of how it progressed from 1849 until 2020. So just to wrap up this video, guys, just make sure that you know who is Ernst & Young CEO, what areas they're operating in, what is their vision, what is their investment, their $50 billion investment. It's a huge investment in terms of dollars. Do your research on that. Prepare for the best and see how it goes, because like Benjamin Franklin's very famous quote is that failing to prepare is you are preparing to fail. So guys, keep that in mind and keep on working hard. Do prepare for the interview. And just to wrap up this video, if you have any questions, leave it in the comment section below and I'll reply back to you. Thanks very much for watching this video, and bye for now.